Chris, are the Warriors still a lock to win it all?
Not a lock. Before the season, I felt 100% that the Warriors were going to win the championship. Now I'm going to say I'm down to about 70 to 75%, which is significant considering how great they are, how talented they are. And the decline, while it has something to do with themselves, that's only a small part of it. I'll get to it. A lot of it has to do with how well Houston is playing. You know, I've said, and I still believe, that Steph Curry and Klay Thompson are the best backcourt in NBA history. They've been together 7 years. They've won 2 championships. But Chris Paul and James Harden are probably better. I wouldn't say they're the best in history because they just got together. They haven't been together long. But when you match the two up, Houston's backcourt is probably better. We have not seen anything like this since maybe Walt Frazier and Earl the Pearl Monroe. And it's showing. Offensively, Houston is the top-ranked offense of all time. Right now, that's the pace they're playing at. You look at the other top 5 teams of all time. Number 2, the Showtime Lakers, Magic Johnson, 1987, won a title. Number 3, Golden State, last year obviously had a stacked team, won a title. Number 4, Michael Jordan, Chicago Bulls, 1992, won a title. Number 5, Boston with Larry Bird, 1988, didn't win a title, but a tremendous team. And Houston's playing defense. Then the Cavaliers, we talked about them the last few days, the way they've improved and the way they look like they should continue to get better, the pieces they've added, the holes that they've stopped up. I think they could eventually improve to the point where they can challenge Golden State. Now, to Golden State, they have some major issues, and you heard it in those comments. Kevin Garnett, a lack of urgency. Steve Kerr, careless.
Kevin Durant.
Not ready to, Kevin Durant. Steve Kerr, not ready to play, careless. Those are signs of frustration and just being exasperated and a bit mentally burnt out because it is hard. I don't care how much talent you have to get to 4 straight finals. Michael Jordan retired after 3 both times. And the first time he was burnt out. And so he retired. There have only been 4 teams in history to get to 4 straight finals. Bill Russell Celtics, Bird Celtics, Magic Lakers, LeBron's Miami Heat team. But most of those after that, I mean, LeBron in Miami, they parted ways. You know, it's tough to do. There's a reason the Spurs, with one of the greatest players ever in Tim Duncan, one of the greatest coaches ever in Greg Popovich, have never even repeated as champions. And so that is what you see. The frustration, the technical fouls. Draymond Green has been ejected 3 times this year. He had been ejected 3 times in his entire career up to this point. Kevin Durant's been ejected 4 times. He had only been ejected once in his entire career. Even Steve Kerr's got 5 technical fouls. So those are some of the challenges that the Warriors are facing. I'm not saying it will break them, but it certainly brings it down as far as whether or not they're a lock to win the championship.
The Golden State Warriors were a lock before the season started and are still a lock, barring some major injuries.
You didn't hear a word I said.
I heard what you said. It just went one ear and out the other because you know how this league operates and how it works. Regular season, you can't always look at it. There's going to be lulls. Good teams are going to have bad stretches. They're going to be unfocused. They're going to make mistakes, do stuff. I get it. I agree with you trying to win that often and go 4 years, but that doesn't mean at the end of the day what this league is about. This league is about the postseason, which you know is a different season, and it's also about stars and guys who have done it and been there. And my money is on those guys. You look at the Golden State Warriors, they have 3 of the 10 best players in the league. In this league, those teams are the teams that normally win. The last team that you could really go back and say won without a superstar, 2004 Pistons. That doesn't happen. It's always about guys when your team has those kind of players. So I like where the Warriors are. They're going to get refocused. They will get back. They just got to be ready to go. And even when you have a lull through all the winning that they have done, doesn't mean you're not going to win. I could just go back. The 2000 Yankees who had wound up winning 3 World Series in a row.
Is that basketball?
No, but I'm just telling you, they went 3-15, including losing their last 7. People said,
That's
"Oh
baseball,
no, it's
man.
all over."
Anything happens in baseball.
It's all over because they're mentally drained. You know what they did? They went to the World Series, beat the Mets in 5 games. My point is, they were the best team. The Warriors are the best team, and that's why I'm not concerned. They will regroup. They will get it together. They will be, barring a major injury, they are the best team. The best team in the NBA normally wins the championship. I can't. You have to go back to maybe the 70s of some NBA team that wasn't the best team to be able to win a championship.
Dallas in 2011, where they weren't better than the Miami Heat.
But the Miami Heat
And that Heat had the talent. They had 3 top 10 players.
Did they
at
melt
that point.
down and did they?
Yeah,
Okay,
but
that
still.
was that their first year together and they were so I don't look at it the same way as a proven winner or a team that has already won and been there, done that.
What about 2016? Who was the best team in the league? Golden State or Cleveland?
In 2016?
Yeah.
Golden State.
Okay, but Cleveland beat them.
Golden State choked in that
But
series.
things happen.
No, but
mentally.
That was a choke job. They were up 3-1. They choked.
They were lucky to get there because they were down 3-1 to OKC.
I'm still betting my money on Golden State.
You can bet your money on Golden State, but to answer the question, are the Warriors a lock? No, they're not a lock. Nothing is guaranteed. Chris, you even alluded to before you went on to your 75%, that before the season you thought they were 100%. Nothing is guaranteed in sports. I don't care what sport we're talking about. And we can transition that to life.
You want me to bust that right now?
No.
I'm going to guarantee you. Can I just give you an example? Let me give you an example. The Harlem Globetrotters win every game, and the Washington
They
Generals lose every
actually
game.
have lost a few.
Exactly.
They actually have lost a few.
You're done. To my point, nothing is guaranteed. This is why we play the game. And when you look at what we heard in those 2 post-game press conferences, Steve Kerr alluding to effort, complacency, Kevin Durant, the same thing. We have to be energetic. Before, when the Warriors were having success in the regular season and obviously throughout the playoffs, teams had to match their intensity. Now they're trying to match other teams' intensity because other teams have constructed their teams to beat this team, to knock down this big franchise that everybody is saying is the greatest thing ever assembled. And I get it. Should we be barring all the alarms, sounding every alarm? No, because they have players. You mentioned they have 3 of the top 10 players in the league on their team. 2 of the top 3 players are on their team.
And if you're going to go, they have 4 of the best 20 players in the league.
Yeah, so I mean, they have the arsenal and the weaponry to make sure that they can bounce back. But if you look at Cleveland this year, their issue was effort. They had to clean house because of effort, and they couldn't overcome it in games, late in games, because they didn't have the type of arsenal offensively to get it done. What you see in Golden State is a level of complacency. I'm not saying that they are unwilling or they won't be able to turn it on, because they're definitely capable of turning it on. But right now, what we're seeing is a team that is comfortable, that is complacent, and have this sense of entitlement, if you will, to where they don't think they have to play as hard as everybody else because they feel like they can come back. I'll tell you one stat that supports that. Turnovers. This team has always turned the ball over. They've always turned the ball over. But they've always been able to outscore their opponent, even with their turnovers. Now, in their wins, they're averaging about 15 turnovers, only giving up 17 points. In their losses, they're averaging 18 turnovers, giving up 24 points. When you turn the ball over, what that tells me is your effort isn't there. You don't really care when you turn the ball over, are we getting back in transition? Are we pressing and guarding the three-point line? You talked about Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant talked about it yesterday. Trailblazers came out and knocked down 3, 4, 5 threes in the first quarter and got their momentum going. You can't allow that. That's telling me you're coming off the bus, not ready to play. And everybody, when you are the top dog, every team you play night in and night out is going to give you their best effort. They went into Utah, but got blasted.
To your point, Golden State, if let's say everybody stays healthy, not just on Golden State, but virtually everywhere, okay? They're going to have a much tougher road to the finals this year than they did in the 2 years they won it. The 2 years they won it, they had easy roads. In 2015, Memphis was hurt. The Clippers were hurt.
You could only play who's out there, Chris. That's all you could do.
I'm just saying, most teams were banged up in the East, and it was an easier road. 2017, San Antonio. Hold on. San Antonio. We know Kawhi Leonard got hurt. Josef Nurkic for Portland was hurt. They wouldn't have beat him, but that made it easier too. The 1 year they actually had a rough road, 2016, down 3-1 to Oklahoma City, they lost. They didn't win. Now, you can say it was Draymond, and I know that changed the momentum, but they still lost those last 2 games with Draymond, one of them being at home.
I agree.
I don't think they choked. The Cavs, they gave the Cavs momentum with the suspension, and then the Cavs rolled.
They didn't lose 3 games in a row all season.
It's tougher in the finals, but you playing better players.
2 of those games were at home.
You can't bring up a regular season when you meet in Denver and Utah and Toronto and
But you're
Charlotte.
right, and that's
Cleveland was a great team.
That's why I don't buy Houston, because Houston is postseason poison. Look at who they have. Harden has had nothing but meltdowns after great regular seasons. Chris Paul, meltdowns after great regular seasons. He doesn't have a resume for the postseason. And Mike D'Antoni, the coach, go look at his record when he was with the Suns.
They're going to give each other
all the time.
Chris Paul and James Harden are going to give each other confidence.
Hold on, really quick on that. They were the alpha males on their teams individually. Now they have the support of one another.
That's right.
You'll see a different Houston Rockets team in the playoffs
You put poison and poison together, and it's still poison.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show, and be sure to check out more of the best clips from Undisputed, or go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.